Good day, everyone. This is Mark Vello, and you're listening to Headline News. More than 5,000 pages of COVID relief bill. The devil is in the details. On December 21st, Congress passed a massive $900 billion COVID relief bill. The bill also included $1.4 trillion in annual spending for 2021, totaling a value of $2.3 trillion. On December 22nd, the bill was sent to President Trump for approval. Only a limited part of the bill involves relief for Americans, while the majority includes massive money transfers to foreign governments. Several sources have revealed that there is a hidden clause in the bill, which runs to a staggering 5,593 pages. It would abolish some of President Trump's authority over the military. The clause would nullify the president's use of the Insurrection Act. The Senate and the House of Representatives passed the bill on Monday in a matter of hours. Because the bill was nearly 6,000 pages long, it had to be wheeled into the Senate chamber on a cart. However, this violated the standard 72-hour rule that must be provided for members to review the bill before it is voted on. Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, a radical Democrat who has always advocated for socialism, blasted the bill on Twitter and went in line with conservatives, even tweeting that it's gross but also true. Members of Congress have not read this bill. It's over 5,000 pages, arrived at 2 p.m. today, and we are told to expect a vote on it in 2 hours? As a response to the Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, Representative Mark Green, a Tennessee Republican, tweeted, "Sorry, at Speaker Pelosi, I actually like to read legislation before I cast my vote." At 5,593 pages, this bill is going to take me more than the 6 hours Congress has been given to read it. This is utterly irresponsible. Still, the Democratic majority House voted to pass the bill. Because the time given to the legislators to review the bill was so short, few people read it carefully. However, after it was sent to President Trump, it was found that it included a measure to stop the president from invoking the Insurrection Act. The Insurrection Act of 1807 was a federal law that authorized the President of the United States to deploy military and federal National Guard forces within the United States under certain circumstances to effectively stop civil unrest. President Trump also issued a video statement emphasizing that it must be adjusted or the bill as presented will not pass. Public outcry over relief dollar amount. Trump made a statement. Pelosi changed direction. The $900 billion COVID-19 relief bill passed by Congress, and the Senate will send only $600 in relief money to Americans, causing public outcry. President Trump released a pre-recorded video on social media on December 22nd, asking Congress to make changes to the relief bill, remove inappropriate spending, and increase financial assistance to the general public. U.S. Congress Speaker Nancy Pelosi, a Democrat, said she agrees with President Trump's proposal to give $2,000 in direct aid to each American. But other Republican senators also called on Representative Pelosi not only to increase personal aid to Americans, but also to cut unnecessary aid to foreign countries. Trump said that the bill contains a lot of wasteful items, but at the same time, only $600 per person is given to the public. Small businesses do not get enough bailout money and incentives either, especially restaurants, which have suffered a heavy loss. Congress found plenty of money for foreign countries, lobbyists, and special interests, while sending the bare minimum to the American people who need it. It wasn't their fault, it was China's fault, Trump said. The Democrats have been blocking relief legislation throughout the summer in an effort to push an extreme left agenda and influence the election. Then, a few months ago, Congress began negotiating on a new package with urgently needed help for the American people. But the bill that Congress has now sent back to the White House desk is much different than anticipated. As President Trump said, it really is a disgrace. Trump wants Congress to increase the amount of stimulus checks sent directly to the American people to $2,000 for individuals or $4,000 for couples, instead of the $600 in the current bill. He also stated that he would veto the relief bill if changes are not made. Then Representative Nancy Pelosi, the Speaker of the House, tweeted, Republicans repeatedly refused to say what amount the president wanted for direct checks. At last the president has agreed to $2,000. Democrats are ready to bring this to the floor this week by unanimous consent. Let's do it. Republican Senator Josh Hawley tweeted on Tuesday evening, "At real Donald Trump is right. Workers deserve much more than $600, as I have repeatedly said and fought for. And there's obviously plenty of money to do it. Look at what Congress threw away on corporate giveaways and foreign buyouts. Let's get it done." Hawley also tweeted, Ms. Pelosi repeatedly asked Mr. Mnuchin what Mr. Trump's position was on the direct payments, but he declined to answer. At real Donald Trump told me multiple times he wanted higher payments for workers. That's what we are fighting for. If Biden confirms his election, then he should support election transparency. In the United States, the controversy over the election has not yet ended. According to a Monmouth University poll, 77% of President Trump's 75 million voters believe that Joe Biden's so-called victory was the result of an election injustice. Steve Cortes, a senior strategic advisor of the Trump campaign, recently wrote to National Pulse that Biden should welcome a transparent election if he confirms his victory. In the article, he said that many Americans learned for the first time about the nasty details of the Biden family's interest scandal with the Chinese Communist Party. But as the public becomes more aware of it, they will become more and more worried. If Biden believes that he legitimately won the election, even by a slim margin, then he should join Trump's campaign in calling for absolutely transparent voter information. If Biden wants Americans to believe that his family ties to the Chinese Communist Party are intact, then he should similarly support the dispatch of a special prosecutor. The article also said that despite the media's efforts to smear election skeptics, there was plenty of evidence of election irregularities and the constitutional controversies that come with them. Assistant to the President, Peter Navarro, recently categorized these data points and questionable fact patterns in a highly compelling 36-page report. If the current swing state results are not representative of massive violations, then Joe Biden should most certainly welcome the full transparency that is coming to convince the skeptics. If Biden hopes to have a realistic chance of getting into the Oval Office, he must address his family's lucrative and ominous relationship with deep states around the world, especially America's most dangerous enemy, the Chinese Communist Party, Cortes said. According to a poll commissioned by the Media Research Center of Biden voters, 45% reported that they were unaware of the breaking news about Hunter Biden's laptop. The article says that this suppression of information is sure to undermine trust in the traditional media and intelligence agencies. Biden cannot continue to avoid real scrutiny of the issue. As with the voter data issue, if Biden wants a clean image in the White House, then he must welcome the oversight of special inspectors to fully examine these critical issues. More than a century ago, Supreme Court Justice Louis Brandeis said, "Sunlight is the best disinfectant." If Joe Biden agrees with the Democratic Party's rhetoric about healing a polarized nation, then he should support his business with China being revealed more than anyone else. DHS's acting secretary. China threatens the livelihood, prosperity, and well-being of each and every American. U.S. intelligence agencies have assessed the threat posed by the Chinese Communist Party, or CCP, to the United States, and Acting Secretary of Homeland Security, Chad Wolf, said on December 20th that China threatens the livelihood, prosperity, and well-being of each and every American. Furthermore, FBI Director Christopher Wray says that the FBI opens a new counterintelligence case related to the Chinese Communist Party every 10 hours. Wolf delivered his remarks at a virtual event hosted by the Heritage Foundation. He added that your homes, your schools, your jobs, your retirement accounts, and your health are all at risk. Outlining some of the threats from Beijing, Wolf states that China attacks the legitimacy of our political system. Each day, Chinese operatives engage in disinformation campaigns designed to mislead the American public, pressure political figures, shape U.S. discourse in China's favor, and shift responsibility for the deadly COVID-19 pandemic to others. In addition, he said that the Chinese operatives exploit cultural and commercial ties to lobby our state and local governments to adopt pro-China policies. As well, threats from China are demonstrated through continued cyber espionage against the U.S. government and businesses and their increasing ability to threaten and potentially disrupt U.S. critical infrastructure. He warned China's cyber capabilities should alarm all Americans. A cyber attack on our critical infrastructure could be catastrophic. Wolf added, China is a top threat to U.S. supply chain security and a persistent source of counterfeit goods. He also said Chinese counterfeiters sent fake medicines, contaminated cosmetics, and defective auto parts, to name but a few, in massive volumes. And sadly, the PRC, or People's Republic of China, exploited the COVID crisis by sending us fake personal protective equipment, PPE, directly hurting American citizens. FBI Director Chris Wray warned in July, the greatest long-term threat to our nation's information and intellectual property and to our economic vitality is the counterintelligence and economic espionage threat from China. Wray said that China is engaged in a whole-of-state effort to become the world's only superpower by any means necessary. This resulted in the Bureau opening a new China-related counterintelligence case every 10 hours. Wolf pointed out that, to combat the threat posed by China, the President is leading a whole-of-government response. Wolf concluded that the U.S. Department of Homeland Security will soon release the Strategic Action Plan to counter the People's Republic of China, an innovative document based on President Trump's 2017 National Security Strategy and 2020 U.S. Strategic Approach to the People's Republic of China. CDC. The variant could already be in the United States. Just before Christmas, a new variant of the Chinese Communist Party virus, COVID-19, has once again caused global panic. British Health Secretary Matt Hancock said the virus is out of control. Scott Gottlieb, the former FDA chief, said he thinks that the variant of the virus found in the UK is already in the US. He predicted that the mutated strain will continue to spread in the US over the next 3 to 4 weeks until the peak of the epidemic. The new variant is 70% more contagious than other existing strains, which caused a dramatic spike in infections in the southern parts of the UK. In addition to the UK, this variant of the virus has been found in other European countries, including Denmark, Netherlands, and Italy. Scientists have already suggested that the virus may spread worldwide and become a major strain of the CCP coronavirus worldwide. In Japan, a rare case has been reported. A patient was diagnosed with both influenza and CCP virus. In the wake of last week's outbreak of a cluster of CCP virus infections in Avalon on Sydney's northern coast, other parts of Australia have imposed border restrictions on Sydney and its southern state, New South Wales, for safety reasons. This concludes tonight's broadcast. Thank you for your time, and stay tuned for the next Headline News.